Few sights in nature are as peaceful and beautiful as the monarch butterfly. Bright orange wings dancing in the breeze, a living symbol of transformation and resilience. But what if I told you that these iconic insects are in grave danger? So much so that as of this past week, December 2024, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has just announced the proposal to list the monarch butterfly as a threatened species under the Endangered Species Act. Monarch populations are plummeting, and unless we act, we could lose them forever. So let's take a deep dive into the story of the monarch butterflies and how we got here, their astonishing biology, the threats they face, and how you can be part of their recovery. Stay with me because this is a flight we can't afford to lose. Over the past decade, monarch butterfly populations have experienced an alarming decline. The western monarch population, which winters along the California coast, has hit a devastating low, just an estimated 7,000 individuals for the early season count of wintering western monarchs led by the Xerces Society. To put this into perspective, this is more than a 90% decline in their population abundance since 1980. And it's not just western monarchs. Eastern monarchs, which migrate from Canada to Mexico, have also seen dramatic declines, with their abundance declining nearly 80%. So what's driving these declines? Monarchs face a perfect storm of threats that are additive. Loss of habitat. Monarchs rely on specific plants to survive, particularly milkweed, for laying eggs and feeding caterpillars. But urbanization and industrial agriculture have wiped out much of this critical habitat. Climate change. Rising temperatures and unpredictable weather are disrupting monarch migration. Late frosts, drought, and extreme storms are taking a toll on their survival. Pesticides and herbicides. Widespread herbicides are killing milkweed and flowering plants monarchs depend on. Worse yet, some pesticides can harm butterflies, directly killing those non-targeted insects. Let's just take a moment to appreciate how remarkable these butterflies are. Monarchs undergo one of the longest insect migrations on Earth. Eastern monarchs can travel over 3,000 miles from Canada to Mexico, while western monarchs journey from the areas of the western United States to coastal California. But here's the difference. Western monarchs stay on the Pacific side of the Rockies, while eastern monarchs cross the continent. Both populations rely on these overwintering sites, but these locations are disappearing fast due to development and logging, respectively. One of the most fascinating aspects of monarch butterflies is their generational migration. Unlike birds, which complete their migration in one lifetime, monarchs pass the baton across several generations. It works like this. The monarch that starts the migration north in the spring will stop along the way to reproduce. Their offspring continues the journey, and the cycle repeats for multiple generations until summer ends. Then comes the super generation, a special group of monarchs born on the end of the season. These butterflies don't reproduce immediately and instead live up to 9 months, traveling thousands of miles to the overwintering sites in Mexico or coastal California. But how do they know where to go when they've never made this trip before? Interestingly, monarchs rely on an internal compass to navigate this migration. Scientists believe that they use Earth's magnetism and sunlight to navigate directionally, and the rest of it's still a bit of a mystery. It's an incredible natural instinct passed down through their genes, an awe-inspiring mystery of nature that shows just how connected these tiny creatures are to the world around them. If you stuck with us this far, please give us a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. As of December 2024, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has officially announced the proposal to list the monarch butterfly as a threatened species under the Endangered Species Act. This decision follows a recent status review that confirmed the species warranted protection due to its significant population declines. This proposed listing comes after years of advocacy and research highlighting the monarch's vulnerability, especially due to habitat loss, and the reduction of milkweed, its primary food source. This means grassroots efforts are critical. We can't wait for legislation to save the monarchs. Conservation begins with us, you and me. So what can we do to make a difference? Plant native milkweed and flowering plants. Milkweed is the only plant monarch caterpillars will eat, so plant native species to your area. And pair them with a nectar-rich flower to feed adult butterflies. Avoid chemicals. Skip the pesticides and herbicides. A chemical-free yard is a safe haven for pollinators. Support conservation organizations. Groups like the Endangered Species Society are working tirelessly to protect monarchs. Your time working as a community scientist or monetary donations can help fund critical research and habitat restoration. Participate in community science. Speaking of community science, consider joining programs like the Monarch Watch to track and tag butterflies. Your observations can provide valuable data for scientists. Spread the word. The more people know, the more we can achieve. Share this video, start a conversation, and help inspire others to act on monarch conservation. So let's get to work. Consider planting milkweed, which is native to your area and comes chemically free from a nursery by you. Help protect wild spaces and speak up for monarchs. Together we can turn the tide.